Welcome to Just Cook It Radio, hosted by Chef Mario Pareca and Bill Alexander. Just Cook It Radio is about food, life, and everything in between. And now, your hosts of Just Cook It Radio, Mario and Bill.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're listening to Just Cook It on your local station, 590 Radio, WMBS, and also on FCTV Channel 77, and at justcookit.tv. I am Mario Pareca. I'm here with Bill Alexander. And we have a familiar face back.
Well, I saw him on Thursday at a career fair, but yeah, Mike Sackley is back in studio, and he's back from his whirlwind tour. What, Germany, Arizona? Where else did you go?
Oh, to Texas.
Oh, Texas too.
Texas.
And the Connellsville. So that's where he's been the last few weeks.
You have to add Connellsville. Did you get any large cuts of meat in Texas?
Yeah, we got a little barbecue. That's always good stuff. I was going to tell you guys though. I went to the when I went to the ASU Notre Dame game, which is the reason I went down there at the Dallas Palace, which is an incredible facility, AT&T Stadium, where the Cowboys play. They were actually selling the Shiner Bock beer.
Were they
there.
really?
Yeah, and I got some at the game, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
that was the
great.
first time I ever had it, and it's as good as it gets.
Yeah,
it is. Old friends of ours.
I use it for municipal purposes only, though. But yeah.
I'm sure Mike did that day too.
It got me over my cold, just to let you know.
How are you feeling now? You okay now?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Mike, you just led us into the first thing I wanted to talk about today brilliantly, even though you had no idea. Barbecue. Speaking of barbecue, we talked about it on last week's show, and I'm going to mention it again today. Tonight, actually, starting at 5 o'clock at 4th Street Barbecue, who's one of our fantastic sponsors. They're having their one-year anniversary celebration. They're unveiling some new menu items, and we're going to have the head of public relations, Chad Ramsden, on the second segment to call in and talk about. He's going to call in. We're going to talk about what all we can expect to happen there tonight, and why you should go down and get some great barbecue.
I was kind of hoping you were going to say Steve Hansen was going to be on.
Yeah, well, he does do their commercials.
Yes, he does. That's why but most people don't know who he is. So, but
right,
hockey fans
from
do.
Slapshots.
Yeah, but hockey fans know who the Hansen brothers are.
Mm-hmm. None of that stinking root beer.
That's right.
But so yeah, we'll have Chad on in the second segment. I'm looking forward to that, and we'll talk all things barbecue and about what's going on. And when 4th Street Barbecue relatively a year ago, when they started and they opened up, and they've been a sponsor of ours since they opened. They didn't have a public relations person. So the personnel. So when you have to bring on a public relations person,
you're doing something right.
Right.
Yeah.
You're hitting the big time. I offered it to Mike Sackley for our show. I mean,
Mike could do it. Yeah, why not?
I said, would you like to volunteer to be the public relations
outreach?
He wasn't. Yeah, he was.
That would
there
work.
You go.
Yeah.
But so that's coming up later. You're not going to want to miss that. Also, we have a couple other things we're going to talk about. And in the third segment, Bill, we're going to talk about 10 things successful people do during lunch.
Eat.
Well, aside from that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
There are 10 things. I was always taught, growing up that if there's something you want to do or something you want to be, go find someone who's already done it.
Exactly.
And talk to them. So successful people, apparently, according to this, do 10 things that they do during lunch that regular people don't. So
that
we'll talk about
is just
that.
like what I took part in on Thursday, and Mike Sackley was there representing WMBS Radio as a bunch of 8th grade students walked around a career fair asking these business people in the region, how do I become successful? Mm-hmm. And if you'd like to know Mike's secret to it, on Facebook, on my page and on WMBS's page, Mike interviewed with one of my students about being in radio. It's very intriguing.
Intriguing's a good word.
Yeah.
Do you want to drop a little nugget from that?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of people that want to get into radio, and I think it's a fantastic profession, but it is tough to crack into. So I mean, that's kind of what I was trying to tell people is, if you want to get involved, that's fantastic, and I think you should follow your dreams, but do be ready for the realism that you might not get a job right away.
When the door hits you right in the face, wham!
That may be one of the most profound things ever said on our show.
I'm trying to think of how many times this door in this building hit me in the face. 1, 2, 3.
What is this, your third or fourth time around? Anyway.
If you ever look at my resume at the radio stations, I've been to a couple places twice, so...
Well,
they realize that they
want to have you back. They missed you. They want to bring you back. And speaking of twice, this is Mike Sackley's second time to go around with us. He left for a while. Now he's back.
I'm back. That's right.
But the biggest thing going on in food over the last week, Bill, and you actually sent me this article.
Which one?
When it first came out, and it was from Connecticut College. And it was a student faculty research project, and it actually showed that Oreos are just as addictive as cocaine.
And the funny thing is, this article that I sent you that we're talking about now was on Letterman last night. It was part of his opening monologue because of how addictive Oreo cookies are. They are considered right now the most addictive snack food out there.
Well, they are America's most popular cookie.
I wonder why.
And it actually, in this, if you go ahead and read this this study, it says that Oreo cookies are actually more addictive.
Yes.
To we're talking to rat. They tested on rats, and they offered them. They put them in a maze, and I guess the way the experiment worked was they put them in a maze with two areas. They could go to two different destinations. One side had Oreo cookies, the other side had rice cakes.
Right.
And they measured the
who would want rice cakes?
Exactly. They measured the neurons that fire in the brain in the pleasure centers when they would eat the different things. Then they put them in the same thing, and they would give them actually. Now this, it says the professor who ran this is accredited by the Department of Drug Administration, the DEA, I guess, to use controlled substances in experiments. So they had morphine and cocaine.
Okay.
And they did the same thing there. Then they offered the rats in the center of the maze, without even the maze, the choice of whether they wanted the Oreo cookie or the cocaine.
They went for the
Oreo.
Oreo.
They went for the Oreo. And the funny thing is, when the rats ate the Oreos, they ate them like we did. They took the two sandwich parts aside and ate the cream out of the center first, and then ate the cookies. And they said that the neurons in the rats' brains the pleasure centers fired more with the Oreos than it did with the cocaine.
It was a higher state of euphoria than what it was. And speaking of Oreos, there's a new one out now.
Which one is
My
that?
wife bought them by accident the other day. They're Cool Mint. They're addictive. They taste just like Girl Scouts Thin Mints.
A happy accident.
Yeah, well, no, we can't eat them in the house because my wife and I said if we got, they're gone. And I mean, they're gone. But they're really good. But it is. It's really scary that an Oreo cookie, no matter what flavor it is that addictive.
It is, and I'm going to read this one sentence, or actually, one sentence from the bottom of this study that one of the students who participated in this said. It says, and I quote, "Even though we associate significant health hazards in taking drugs like cocaine and morphine, high-fat, high-sugar foods may present even more of a danger because of their accessibility and affordability."
Right.
End quote. And it's true. And, I've seen shows, like you said, it was on Letterman.
Yeah.
And I saw another show that's a late-night show that's on. It's actually on Fox News, where they talked about this, and they kind of made fun of it, and were laughing about it. Oh, this is ridiculous. But it's not ridiculous, because these companies who manufacture these snack foods and these products, not only are they affordable, but it also says, even in the study, that they advertise to lower income families and households because of the affordability of their product. And it hooks you. They have labs that go through and do tests, and what they try to find is something, and it's a scientific term, it's called the bliss point.
Okay.
And they actually use children by giving them different foods with different levels of sweetness to find the bliss point. What the bliss point is the exact amount of sugar in a food that puts you into euphoria, the bliss. Not too much, not too little, but that one amount of sugar that will keep you coming back for more, that will make you feel good and want more and more and more. That's why, they say you can't eat just one. Well, you can, because they have it scientifically engineered that way. How many apples can you eat in one sitting?
One.
How many bags? How many potato chips can you eat in one sitting? The whole bag, if it's there. Yeah. So it's a scary thing.
It is.
And we're starting to see that everywhere. And we've talked about that in the past, and we've talked about the different foods and different things they do. But, this is a study that a lot of the experts and the experts who are involved in the food industry are poo-pooing because of, the economic, I would say, downside this could have on their on these multi-billion-dollar companies. But, Oreos. And that's just one of many foods that are out there.
But when you pair them with milk, it just seems that much better for you.
Milk is actually not good for you at all.
Okay,
contrary to popular belief.
You just ruined my whole childhood. Thank you very much.
High-fat, high-sugar food. Again, fat, sugar, and salt.
Right.
I mean, there's things in nature, and we talk about food, and we talked about foods last week with the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. The foods in nature, they have fat, they have sugar, they have salt, but none of them in nature have fat, sugar, and salt together. When you start getting them together, that's when they get really addictive and really, and that's where the foods that humans manufacture come from that aren't as good for you.
That's right.
With their nutritional content.
Well, let's step away, take a brief break, and then we'll come back to our friend from 4th Street Barbecue.
Yes, we'll be back with Chad Ramsden from 4th Street Barbecue talking all things 4th Street Barbecue tonight. So don't touch that radio dial. Just Cook It is served up to you today by the Big Barn Country Store and Deli, by Pareca Chiropractic Center, Inc., by 4th Street Barbecue, by the Herald Standard, and on FCTV by Phil Giannetti Motors.
And you're watching Just Cook It on Fayette TV, Channel 77, and also at JustCookIt.tv. And you're listening to Just Cook It Radio here on your local station, 590 Radio, WMBS.
Phil Giannetti Motors at 656 National Pike East in Brownsville is a proud sponsor of programming on FCTV. Phil Giannetti Motors providing quality vehicles for 45 years. If you're looking for a quality pre-owned vehicle, give Phil Giannetti's a call at 724-785-6800 or stop by their website, philgiannettimotors.com.
Hello, Fayette TV, and thank you for watching Just Cook It Radio right here on Channel 77. I am Mario Pareca.
And I'm Bill Alexander. If you like what you've seen so far, you can watch the program in its entirety at justcookit.tv for food, life, and everything in between.
Good to have you back. You're listening to Just Cook It on your local station, 590 Radio, WMBS, and also on FCTV, Channel 77, and at justcookit.tv. I am Mario Pareca. I'm here with Bill Alexander. And, Bill, we have a very special guest on the line. We are going to talk to Chad Ramsden. He is the public relations coordinator for one of our fantastic sponsors, 4th Street Barbecue. And there's a big goings-on at 4th Street Barbecue tonight we're going to talk about. So, Chad, it's good to have you on. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, good morning, Mario. How are you?
Good, good. How's things going this morning? Are you running in 12 different directions yet?
Oh, it's going a little crazy. We're getting prepped for our 1-year anniversary tonight, and I think it's going to be a really good event.
That's awesome. So tell us, Chad, right off the top, what all is going on tonight? Why should people want to come, other than the fantastic barbecue? What are some of the special things that are happening?
Absolutely. Well, like I said, it is our 1-year anniversary, and we're celebrating by launching our new menu. Some of our new menu items are going to be the 4th Street fries and homemade chips. We're also adding a burger and wraps, hot dogs, wings, and then to keep in with the fall themes, some of our new sauces. We're going to have a pumpkin barbecue and a brown sugar barbecue.
That sounds great. And, a lot of these items, Bill, I actually helped.
Well, I was just going to ask that on how much input you actually had on these when putting the menu together.
Yeah, I actually helped with some of these items, and I'm going to be there tonight. So anyone who comes by. And, Chad, what time does it start?
We're open from 11 today for lunch, but the event's actually starting at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
We're going to have complimentary drinks and prizes throughout the day, but Mario did have a big influence on especially the burger. I tried it last night, and it was amazing.
Well, I realized how important this was because when Mario came into the studio this morning, he's actually clean-shaven from the head to the chin, and I'm figuring that before you guys open up at 5 tonight for the grand opening, everybody just needs to go past and rub his head for good luck.
Absolutely. That sounds like a game plan.
Like Buddha.
Yeah, exactly.
But, speaking of the burger, another thing that makes it unique is it's not just ground beef. It actually has some of their signature brisket ground into the burger. So it's really flavorful. It's really delicious. And, you can get it with barbecue sauce or with whatever sauce that you choose.
Now, Chad, you mentioned something about a pumpkin barbecue sauce?
Yeah, we to keep with the fall theme, we were messing around, and Mario and my partner David, they came up with a pumpkin barbecue sauce, and we actually played around with it a little more after, and it tastes like pumpkin pie on a rib.
Oh, does it really? That's an interesting combination.
It's very, very flavorful, savory, has a bit of the barbecue bite to it, but it still has that sweet taste.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's like a mouthful of fall.
There you go. You'll market it as a mouthful of fall. There you go. I like that.
Well, so we got the pumpkin barbecue sauce. And obviously, Chad, you could tell them that all the menu items that people have come to know and love at 4th Street Barbecue are still available.
Absolutely. Our ribs and chops, the wings, the pulled pork, the pulled chicken sandwiches, the briskets, they're all still available. This is just kind of taking it one little step further to, welcome us back to the community and relaunch us back into the community.
That's great. And, we're looking for there's going to be, I take it, you were doing RSVPs, but if people come and walk in, they're not going to get turned away at the door.
Well, the funny thing, a little funny comment on the RSVP. On our invites that we were handing out, the RSVP section is on the back. Well, nobody, as soon as they saw the pumpkin barbecue sauce, nobody turned over the RSVP over to the other side. So it was just, everybody started asking about it. And so we do have a lot of people coming in tonight, but we really want a lot more to come in. So if any of your listeners are around the area or want to venture down for some great barbecue, come on down to 4th Street, and we'll happily accommodate you.
Now, can you give us directions to get into 4th Street to Charleroi and where the restaurant's at?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're coming in from, let's say you're coming in from Uniontown area off of 51, you're going to get off of the Charleroi exit off of 70.
Okay.
You would go into Charleroi. There will be a McDonald's on your right. You're going to make a left up onto 4th Street, and it's right there on the corner. It's essentially very easy to get to. Charleroi has 2 streets. One
goes one way, one goes the other way. That's
the other. So we're right on the corner on 4th Street, and I believe it's Federated. I can't remember. I apologize.
And one other thing I want to mention, or actually I want you to mention, is actually tonight you're also going to be offering desserts.
Oh, yes. We actually have we've partnered with a bakery out of McMurray, PA, Bartram House Bakery, and they supplied us with a raspberry cheesecake, a pumpkin roll cake. It's essentially an 8-layer pumpkin roll cake, and last not but the chocolate mountain dessert that Mario had chosen specifically. I think he likes that chocolate.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Well, that pumpkin roll cake probably is more addictive than Oreos are, to be honest with you.
They look delicious. We came in this morning and David, the owner of the restaurant, was already mowing down a piece.
Doesn't surprise me. Yeah. And a little pick-me-up in the morning. But, there's a whole array of seasonal items on the menu. Yes. So when you come in, there's actually a salad that is fall-themed. It's got pumpkin seeds. It's got apple cider vinaigrette. And then you can go in and get your pumpkin or ribs with pumpkin barbecue sauce or pulled pork. Any of the meats you can get with pumpkin barbecue sauce. And then you can get a big, nice piece of pumpkin roll cake.
I mean, it does sound excellent. And you're going to have the weather cooperating with you for pretty much most of the day. Hopefully this rain holds off until later this evening. So you should have a nice crowd. And with the leaves changing, especially in the Mon Valley right now, it's a whole day event basically to be able to come out and enjoy the foliage, and then having dinner afterwards.
Well, I think that is an understatement because the people that can't make it have decided that they're coming for lunch.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we're not launching the menu until 5 o'clock. But hey, we still got everything else. Right. We might make some exceptions here and there.
Yeah,
absolutely. And one other thing I want to mention. I promise I'll let you go because I know you're busy and you've got a lot to get ready for tonight. The French fries, brand new French fries.
God.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth.
They are amazing.
The fries were really a laborious process because I worked with Dave on making these fries, and we had, I'd say, 10 trial runs until we got them right.
Right.
But now they're really crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, and they're seasoned with, guess what, Bill?
Let's see. Whatnot.
That's it, AP number 7. So if you want to try my seasoning blend, the one we've been touting for a while now, if you want to try it before it hits the market, go to 4th Street Barbecue. You can get it on the fries, and the fries are off the charts. I mean, I would say, just from tasting them, and I'm going to give them this label myself now, hopefully the masses will agree once they try them. I'm going to say they're the best fries in the Mon Valley.
And for those of you that have never had AP number 7, which I've had on several occasions, it makes everything that much better. I mean, it is an excellent seasoning because we've had it on ribs. We've had it on other things that you've made for TV, and it's a seasoning that goes with pretty much everything. So it's really good.
And it's available right now exclusively at 4th Street Barbecue.
On their fries and everything else.
On their fries, burgers.
Yeah.
And I've got to mention it. The dipping sauce that you guys created, too, is to die for.
Yeah, with the fries you can get, there's an array of dipping sauces, but the one that he's mentioning too, which is maybe just as addictive as the Oreos that we're talking about, it's a truffle peppercorn parmesan aioli.
Oh, that sounds
that
different.
goes with the fries with the AP number 7, and it's just off the charts. It'd be great on a burger too, so if you're coming in and ordering a burger, keep that in mind.
I mean, I'm thinking we talked to Mike during break, have a Shiner's Bock with that, and everything would be perfect.
Yeah, and there will be beer available tonight.
Yes, there will be, and we have a wine being brought to. We have wine available as well, sponsored by Repetti Winery in the Mon Valley. So I look forward to anybody that comes down and wants some great food. Come on down. We'll be here all night.
And Chad, right before you go, will you throw out the phone number in case anyone wants to call an RSVP?
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
So
I forgot it.
He has so much going on right now.
Yeah, we're at 724-565-5456. The address is 308 4th Street, Charleroi, PA, 15022. Plug it in the Siri, and she'll send you right here. So, hey, thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Chad, for giving us a few minutes. We appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you later on, and we'll be slinging some barbecue, and I'm sure we'll be eating some as well, too.
And we'll definitely rub your head, brother.
I look forward to that, too. It's on the top of my list. All right, Chad,
Thanks,
you too.
Chad.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
That was Chad Ramsden, the public relations coordinator at 4th Street Barbecue. Head on down there tonight, starting at 5 o'clock. The 1-year anniversary and unveiling of their new menu. It's going to be exciting.
Sounds good. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a good time, and just getting the people out there to participate in it.
And not that barbecue isn't popular enough, but even if you're not a huge barbecue fan, there's other options.
But the thing that gets me is, I like this idea. Every time we think of barbecue, we think of summer, and we think of having it then. But now is a perfect time for it.
Absolutely.
Years and years and years and years ago, this was probably about 10 or 15, there used to be a rib and chicken cook-off in Uniontown. Unfortunately, because of some of the restaurants left and everything else, they used to do it this weekend. And it was a blast because people were coming out for barbecue. And what they're doing at 4th Street right now, to me, sounds very similar to that, except instead of having multiple restaurants, you have one launching this new menu. And the food, the pumpkin barbecue sauce sounds really interesting.
It is. It's a good sauce. We even put some caramel in it to give it that little more of a sweetness and fall flair. So it's one of my favorites. It's really, really good, and it is a seasonal item, so there's not going to be pumpkin barbecue on there, obviously, all year round. It'll be throughout the fall season.
Right.
And one other thing we didn't touch on, another menu item I'm really excited about to launch today with them, are their wings.
Okay.
Their wings are really, really good. They're smoked, so you still get that smoky barbecue taste.
Yep.
And they're just really, really a good wing. It's not the wing that you think about if you order from the takeout pizza place they deliver. They're not breaded. They're not that, the wings that are just
dipped in grease.
Right.
Yeah.
They're really, really good wings with really good sauces. There's really good Asian sauce we made for them. The buffalo sauce is my secret recipe, which is really, really good. And the garlic butter is probably the best garlic butter in the valley as well.
You can't.
Yeah, and the way we did it, it's just, I'm not going to give away our secret because I don't think Dave would be happy with that. But the way we did it, it's to me the best garlic butter in the Mon Valley. Well,
that's cool, and that really is neat. Now, menu goes well. Restaurants in this first year, are they looking at expanding the place to other locations?
It's a possibility. I'll leave it at that. Okay. I mean, it's not. I'm not going to say that it's going to happen. But it's definitely something that we'll see how this next year goes with their menu and how well everything's received. And, you never know.
Because it sounds really exciting. And listening to Chad talk about it and everything, it sounds like they're going in the right direction with the new menu launch. And it's going to be I don't want to say sophisticated, but it's one that people are going to keep coming back for.
It is, and the reason that I'm excited to work with them and I enjoy going in there is they actually cook.
Which is nice.
Yeah,
they don't reheat.
Right. The food's not just reheat. They don't buy anything frozen.
That's cool.
It's all made from scratch. It's all cooked there, and they're really into providing, like you said, more of an upscale barbecue experience. Not that you have to have an upscale palate to go there,
right,
because you can get ribs and the cornbread and the things you're used to, the baked beans and mac and cheese. But
which sometimes when you think of upscale and barbecue, they don't go together.
No.
I mean, they really don't. But what I'm hearing here, it sounds like they're trying to elevate that barbecue experience to that next level, and it sounds like they have it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good. It's something that it's going to be a lot of fun tonight, and hopefully a lot of people will come out and enjoy it, and it'll be a good time.
And the added perk, other than the food, when you're there, you can rub Mario's head.
Yeah, if you want, just let me know. It might be a little sweaty, but standing in front of the stove. But yeah, I will be there. And if you are a listener and you come down, please come down and say hi. Let me know that you're there, and I'll talk to you for a few minutes. And we also will have our postcards there. So if you are a listener of the show, make sure you grab a postcard from me. You can send it to WMBS to thank them for airing our show. We have a lot of fun doing it.
Sounds like it's going to be a great time tonight.
I can't wait.
That really does. Well, speaking of that, let's step away for another break.
Yes, we're going to step away for a final break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about 10 things successful people do during lunch. Bill's been chomping at the bit to hear these all show. So don't touch that radio dial. Just cook it. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and we are served up to you today by the Big Barn Country Store and Deli, by Pareca Chiropractic Center, Inc., by 4th Street Barbecue, and by the Herald Standard.
And you're watching Just Cook It on justcookit.tv and also Channel 77 Fayette TV, and you're listening to Just Cook It Radio here on your local station, 590 Radio WMBS.
Welcome back. You're listening to Just Cook It on your local station, 590 Radio WMBS, and also on FCTV Channel 77, and at justcookit.tv. I am Mario Pareca. I'm here with Bill Alexander and Mike Sackley.
And, of course, when I mention the weather's beautiful, it starts to cloud up.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Well, I have the bug here this morning, so it can't rain until I get home.
The bug. And is that a new Volkswagen hat you're wearing?
Yeah, this was at the car show last week, so one of the dealers gave it to me. This morning when I came in, I had to stop and get gas. And I pulled in, turned it off, got out, put gas in it, and some guy with Maryland license plates go, "Is it for sale?" I'm going, "No, it's not for sale." He goes, "What year is it?" Went through the whole story. I had a 66 bug. I wish I would have never gotten rid of it. Driving that car, more people have VW stories over the age of like 35 than any other story out there, because they see them and it either remembers their childhood or their college days. And it's really cool. My son wants me to start looking for another one. So.
Oh, wow.
Well, he wants his own. And he figures if we get it now.
Does he want a new one or a vintage one?
He wants a vintage one. He figures if we get it now, it will give him time to work on it. So when he drives in 3 years, he'll have it done and he can drive it. I said, I'll look.
There you go.
So if anybody has an old VW Bug sitting in their garage or barn, please let me know.
There you go. And I think, speaking of that, Volkswagen should sponsor the show. Right?
Why not? Why not?
Well, you're the Volkswagen man. You have to make that happen.
Well, one comment I wanted to make before it all ties in. One of my old junior high teachers is a Vanagon nut. He has the VW buses. And I posted the thing on Facebook with Mike. Mike also is a graduate of the same school district I went to, 2008 grad. And Mr. Blau commented on what a good student Mike was, and he always had an interest in broadcasting.
It's all lies.
Yeah.
As good a student he was, he's even better at running that switchboard.
That's right. So they still remember you up there.
At least somebody does, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess.
Anyway, and I want to throw this out there really quickly before we get into these 10 things successful people do during lunch. You can call in. The lines are open. 724-438-4593 is the local number. And if you're calling from outside the listening area, if you're listening to us online, you want to call toll-free. It's 855-590-0590. That's toll-free. And again, the station number one more time is 724-438-4593.
Last week we were talking about macaroni and cheese. How we got on it is still beyond me, because we go in 200 different directions. And I brought up Kraft spaghetti.
Yeah.
And I guess we started to stir some interest out there, and I looked for it. I can't find it. And you said that you spoke to someone that said that they know where to get it, and they've seen it.
We'll see how that comes through, but we're supposed to get it, and when we get it, I will bring my little induction unit, and we will cook it right here on this desk and eat it during the show.
I'm looking so forward to that. You don't understand how much so. But speaking of nostalgia food, and again, this is food from my era in the 70s, and I know you two guys are not old enough. Well, you weren't around the 70s. You weren't even glimmer in your parents' eyes in the 70s. I found another one this week, and it was cereal made by General Foods. And you know Count Chocula. You know Frankenberry. Well, there's two they brought back for limited release. One is called Boo Berry, which is a blueberry cereal, and the little character was a ghost. And my favorite as a kid was Fruit Brute, which it was the same monster cereal, and it was a cherry cereal that turned your milk red when you ate it. And I had some for breakfast this morning.
Oh, wow.
And there's people that are on Facebook with me that are my age, and we all remember the commercials, which is kind of funny. So,
and speaking of cereal, one story I'll throw up. Or throw out there, I should say. Throw out there.
It is a food-related show, though.
I actually found locally, and I was so excited. You know my favorite cereal growing up was Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yes.
And I was at the supermarket the other day, and I was looking in the organic section where I like to look. Now? They have an organic, whole grain Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, cool.
And it is awesome.
Well, this is cheating, and honestly, you don't go to the state where it's made, but Mike was in Texas, and he finally had his first Shiners last week. And I mean, that's cheating.
Absolutely.
It's more whenever you go away from it. But I'm glad you finally had one.
The heavens opened up after I had it. It was fantastic.
He didn't even realize he was at a football game.
Now, my question is, you were in Germany.
I was.
And you drank there.
I did, obviously.
Okay. Anything? I mean,
got a wry smile on your face.
I'm sorry. It was Oktoberfest. What do you expect?
Yes. Yep.
When you're in Germany, you
Whatever
act like the Germans.
You can give.
But how is their beers? I mean,
well, I'll tell you what. It depends on where you go. It's a different style of beer. I was in Berlin for a couple of days, but Munich is where the main Oktoberfest is, which where our trip started at. And the beer is much stronger there, first of all. And quite frankly, it tastes a lot better. And
I'm sure it does.
And it's interesting because I mean, I thought the Shiner was fantastic, but I'm used to the Bud Light, Coors Light, just kinds of beer. Yeah, I mean that's just
water. The watery domestic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean that's college. That's how you kind of go, and it's just that's type of what I'm used to. And when you go there and you have it just kind of has more of a it's more effective, first of all, but it's just the fact that it tastes more better. Effective. It just it's more of a full taste to it.
It hits you up the side of the head like a shovel.
It does. It does. But
it's very, very effective.
Like you said, it's not watered down. It has that rich taste. And I mean, Germans drink beer all the time.
Right.
I mean, literally, they go to lunch and they're drinking beer. So
I think that's one of the best descriptions I've ever heard about a beer.
What's that?
More effective. Well, I'm just telling people that. How's that beer? Very effective.
That's the family-friendly way to say it.
They weren't that effective till I had 4 or 5. Then very effective.
But when you talk to people, and it's really interesting, and I am not a beer connoisseur by any means, but I know what I like. And when you start talking about mainstream domestics, they do taste watered down. They have no taste to me. And I don't drink beer for the alcoholic content. I drink it for the taste, which I know a lot of people don't. And that's why I've gone to the Shiner, because to me it has a richer, more full body than the other ones do. And it's just one of those interesting things. But I'm glad you finally got to have one.
It was very good, yeah.
And you can buy it locally, by the way.
Where at? Everywhere?
If they sponsored the show, I'd be more than happy to tell you.
We'll tell you off the air.
Let me know.
If you carry Shiners in your establishment and you want us to talk about it, just send an email.
Yeah, send an email.
info@justcookit.net.
And that's a great other way, too. If you like what you hear on the show and would like to advertise, we're more than welcome to
absolutely
go to your business, talk to you guys, and do whatever it takes, because we really enjoy what we do, and we're having a good time.
And we enjoy promoting products that we enjoy using.
Yeah,
and just like 4th Street Barbecue. I love working with them. I love the food they have there, and I love to talk about them. So.
And we do that pretty much on everybody we advertise or that advertises with us. We've experienced in some way, shape, or form from the big barn.
And that reminds me, I wanted to throw this out there. Donald calls in a lot, and he talks about his back. Pareca Chiropractic Center.
There you go.
Go get your back checked out. I mean, really.
So we're related to everything. There we go.
And we do have a caller.
And we have Patty on hold, so let's say hi to Patty.
Let's talk to Patty. Hi, Patty. How are you? You're on with Just Cook It on WMBS.
Hi, I'm fine. How are you guys doing?
Doing real good.
Great.
I listened to you last week, too, when you talked about the spaghetti in a box.
Yes.
I remember that very well because my husband and I got married in the 60s, and they had it, and we were, like, really poor because he was in the Navy, and Navy didn't pay much, and I worked also, and I didn't get paid much, but we lived on that and macaroni and cheese like every day.
Right.
And I know they still have that spaghetti in a box because and it was either Kraft or it could have been there was another one, Chef Boyardee.
Okay.
One of them. But I know they still have it because probably about 6 months ago I bought it. I found it and I bought it. But I can't remember where. It was probably either the only place I shop is like Walmart,
Okay.
Kmart,
Now-
and maybe Peachin.
My question to you is, you had it 6 months ago. Did it taste the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm interested to try it now that I know it exists. I didn't know until last week.
And
till
what's
Bill
really
brought it up.
interesting about that is you say that your husband was in the Navy.
Yes.
My father, when I was younger, was in the Army, and that's when he first had it, when him and my mother were dating, because it was the first meal my grandmother made for my dad whenever and this was then when my dad was in Albuquerque. And it's just, when you talk to people about it, it has to do with, it was good, it was wholesome, but it didn't cost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what was really important back then. So that's great. I'm glad someone else can confirm my childhood recollections here.
Yeah, I can relate to that because I'll tell you, that's about all we lived on. I would make macaroni and cheese a lot, too. And then, because we could go to the Navy commissary, and it was like 10 cents a box. So, and then macaroni and cheese, if we had hot dogs to put in it, we thought, wow, we're rich.
That's good. A lot of mix-ins with macaroni and cheese.
It brings back a lot of memories, I'll tell you. If I don't know what we would have done without it.
Well,
but,
Patty, I appreciate the call, and thank you very much for listening.
Thanks,
sure,
Patty.
Thank you. Bye.
See, I told you. Kraft spaghetti in a box.
Yeah,
People
that's amazing.
remember it.
And people, I'll tell you what, when I left the studio last week, I had family in from out of town, so we went somewhere in Uniontown to have brunch.
Right.
And I had about 3 people mention it to me at brunch. So it's there. We'll find it and we'll try. And I will try it. You've had it, and
I love it. It's that whole nostalgia thing and coming back, and I'm wondering if companies are realizing this, that something they made 20 years ago, if they're looking at reintroducing it back to the market.
Well, apparently they're still making it. They're just not advertising.
Right, it's not
so
as big
that's
as it used to be.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, both of my parents, I asked them about it. They haven't had it because both of my sets of grandparents made homemade
When you
sauce.
came from
They
Italian
cooked.
families, I can't imagine you had
right.
it.
My grandparents, on occasion, I remember them making, like for lunch when they were babysitting me when I was young, macaroni and cheese or ramen noodles or something like that, just for lunch while they made dinner, because they always cooked dinner. But I never had the boxed spaghetti. I'm excited to try it.
I think that should be your next thing for the newspaper.
Boxed boil water. Yeah.
That's your next video.
Okay, really quickly, I promised to go over these. Let's go over 10 things successful people do during lunch. And Bill, you tell me how many of these you do.
Eat.
Yeah.
That's one.
Number 1, they leave their desks.
Okay.
It says staying at your desk is a big no-no because sitting too long is not good for you.
Yeah, circulation.
Mm-hmm. Number 2, they go outside. Okay, walk in the park can help rejuvenate the mind after a morning of hard work.
That's good.
Number 3, they exercise. Stephen Cooper, the editor-in-chief of Top Magazine, jogs every day during his lunch, says it gives him more energy throughout the day.
I guess if you did a quick jog, that would be good.
Number 4, they read.
That's another good one.
Do you read at lunch?
No.
Number 5, they eat healthy.
Okay.
That's something we've talked about.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
It says a recent study shows that those who stick to healthy diets are 25% more likely to be high performers at work than those who do not, according to Business News Daily.
I better start eating lunch again, is what you're telling me.
Yes. Number 6, they eat healthy, but they don't overeat.
That's good. That's real good.
When you overeat, you get tired, sluggish.
Right.
Yeah, you just don't feel right. Number 7, they grab lunch with friends or colleagues, staying social.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Number 8, sometimes they even do lunch with enemies. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer, right?
So you're saying me when Batman has lunch, the Joker's there, the Riddler's there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm talking, what's your plans? What's
Superman, it's Lex Luthor. Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure.
As long as he doesn't bring any krypton.
There you go.
Number 9, they listen to music.
That would be a good one.
And
Very
number
calm
10,
and relaxing.
And this is my favorite one, they take naps.
That's a good one.
Do you ever nap during lunch?
I probably have. I just don't remember it. I mean,
sometimes you just wake up. What?
What we eat?
We didn't. Wasn't it lunch yet? Lunch was an hour ago. Oh man, not again.
In my setting of school, it's really hard to do any of that because of you're confined to where you're supposed to be at any given time. So,
but those are a few tips that I thought were good to at least think about. And see
that's
if you
a good idea.
And anyone can do the eating healthy and not overeating.
Right.
Anyone can do that.
Right.
Reading is something that pretty much anyone can do. Listening to music, even you pop in your iPod.
Usually, and this is more usually what I listen to at lunch now is sports talk, and it got really big now since the Pirates were in playoffs, which I did for a while when the Steelers but I was really into that.
Yeah,
and I found a new station which I will remain nameless because they're not paying for advertising here either.
Well, you listen to WMBS, right?
Well, yeah, but not for sports talk. And
Mike's over there laughing.
At 10 in the morning.
There was a little hesitation in the answer.
I listen every time I'm on. What are you talking about?
Yeah, of course, yes.
I know Mike has it on all the time.
Oh, yeah. I leave work, I go home, and I pop it on.
Don't laugh. I used to do that. It used to be set in my car that every time I got in, to and from, that's all I heard.
Well, I mean, Pitt, Penguins, yeah.
Well,
yeah, for
on
sure.
the weekends it is.
Sure, for sure. Sporting events. But I listen to Mike on my way in the morning on Saturday mornings.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I hear the news about 4 times every Saturday morning.
Boy, how far are you coming in from?
It's a half-hour drive. I hear it twice on the way in, once while I'm here, and then once on the way back.
Because I listen when Mike's on during the week. When him and Jim are switching shifts, I listen to him on my way in. So.
And you should too. So be sure to listen and be sure to tune in next Saturday right here at 9 a.m. We'll be back here on WMBS with more Just Cook It.
I think we need to talk about Halloween next week.
Yes, next week is going to be dedicated solely to Halloween. So it'll be our Halloween extravaganza, and you can watch it on FCTV, Channel 77, to see what costume Bill has on.
I think I'm going as myself, to be honest with you.
That's a good one. I may follow your lead on that one. Not go as you, but go as me.
Oh, okay.
So, and Mike may even be in costume. Maybe he'll jump in front of the camera once next week.
Why not?
So, again, you can call us throughout the week at 855-590-0590 and check out our website, justcookit.net. That's our website. You can find everything on there. Follow us on social media, all that jazz and fun stuff. And we'll be back again, 9 a.m. next Saturday. I think that pretty much covers it. So come say hi at 4th Street Barbecue today, 5 o'clock, unveiling the new menu. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come get some ribs, wings, chops. It's going to be a great time. I'll be there, and I look forward to seeing you there. For Bill Alexander and Mike Sackley, I'm Mario Pareca. We'll talk to you next week, 9 a.m., with another episode of Just Cook It right here on your local station, 590 Radio, WMBS.
You have been listening to Just Cook It Radio with Mario Pareca and Bill Alexander. For more information on this program and how to download it as a podcast, go to justcookitradio.com. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please call us at 1-855-590-0590.
This has been a $1 Million Baby production.